everyone. I just wanted to address a few things because I just got a comment asking why I ended up calling 911 under one of my newest shorts, and I figured I would just explain everything myself. So last Saturday, I think it was the last day of May. I had to do the little month song in my head just there, but I don't think I got it right. Last day of May, I took my sister to the swimming pool on my electric scooter, and on our way back, my electric scooter was going about 16 miles per hour, and I think I ran over a rock, and I don't even remember what direction I was going, but I ended up sort of flipping sideways on my scooter, and when I hit the ground, I slid 4 feet up the street. When I sat up, my left wrist was broken. I would skip ahead about 3 times starting now if you don't want to hear the details about what my wrist looked like. The bone on the outer part of my wrist had shifted to the inner part of my wrist. I will probably post a drawing describing what it looks like, but it was broken. It was clearly broken. I wasn't in that much pain. It wasn't really shock. It was just, wow, this is really uncomfortable. But I had screamed at my sister like 3 or 4 times saying, hey, go get mom, dad, go get mom, dad. She comes back, says, they're not home. I go, oh yeah, they're not home. But right then, one of our neighbors had come up the street in her car, saw me in the middle of the road, literally had my backpack on from the pool, this towel around my neck, my scooter was somewhere, my shoe had come off, so it looked like one of those anime scenes where the character ends up falling down in the middle of the street, kind of like I did. But she gets out of the car and she's like, oh, hey, are you okay? And I was just like, yeah, I think my wrist is broken. And she looks at it and she goes, oh yeah, that does look broken. And she's like, oh, well, how about I call your mom? What's your mom's number? I give her my mom's number. She's like, not answering. I'm like, yeah, they're at the mall right now. She was like, how about your dad? Well, I completely, yeah, new word. I completely, mind effed my dad's number. So we didn't even get the number right. But when my other neighbor had come out of his house and did have my dad's number and called him, he didn't pick up either. We were giving them calls left and right. One of the student drivers came up the street trying to get in as well. And then he was there. The second neighbor's son came out. Then there was a nurse who lived on our street who came out, and her daughter. And then another lady came out. She was the mom of the son and the wife of the husband. But they were all just trying to call my parents, and I was like, guys, has someone called 911? And someone goes, well, I don't know, do you need that? And I had looked at her because clearly my wrist is broken. And I asked the nurse lady who had come to help, can you get in the pocket of my backpack and give me my phone? I'll call my mom one more time, and if she doesn't pick up, I'll call 911. She did not pick up. So we ended up dialing 911 on my phone because no one else would. It was a student driver who ended up asking, hey, has someone called 911 yet? While we were in the middle of the 911 call. I ended up getting put in a temporary sling thing. It was really uncomfortable. Actually, that's when it started hurting. And then I was driven to the ER. Once I was in the ER, I was given a small drug warning. If you don't want to hear about it, you can probably skip ahead quite a little bit. I was giving fentanyl shot through the nose. That didn't work for the pain. I was given an IV. I think it was, I don't even remember the IV one, but that didn't work either. So both of my medication for pain did not end up working, and I was sitting in that hospital room for about an hour and a half. They ended up having to take I'm adjusting my camera. Whoa. They ended up taking my arm out of the splint to put it in a new one, which I was kind of upset about because that hurt. And by the time, at this point, my wrist was like a golf ball. And then they said, oh, we're going to move you to Children's Hospital. Bruh, that's like a 45-minute drive. We did it anyway. I was kind of passed out in the passenger seat. I needed the wheelchairs to walk because, when I had slid up the street, my entire left side, my shoulder, my elbow, my knee, not my foot, but the top of my right foot. I had socks on because socks and sandals are just goated, but I couldn't really walk. So we get there, and they tell me, oh, you won't need surgery. We'll just have to, put it back in place. And I'm all like, okay, cool. They give me another IV thing, doesn't work. Then another one, it doesn't work. I was given four drugs for pain, and none of them worked. I was in that hospital room for 3 hours. And they said, oh, we're going to go get the machines and stuff to put you under, another drug warning. We're going to give you ketamine, so it's I don't remember what it was called, but it was conscious sedation, so they wouldn't have to put like a tube down my throat. But they did that, and it took them an hour to get the machine. So I'm sitting in that hospital bed, weird splint. I had that sling on, sitting on top of my slippers, and it's just starting to get worse and worse. And I'm starving. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink anything. I also drank 2 cups of liquid ibuprofen. That didn't work at all. It tasted like cherry. It wasn't the bad one. It was actually sort of okay. But after an hour, they finally came in with all the machines and stuff, sent my family out, put me under. This is probably one of the best parts. They said, if you think of anything, you'll dream it. Well, I thought of one thing, and I did not get that one thing. I ended up being on the Rainbow Road Mario Kart track. Pretty awesome, until I actually ended up kind of coming out of my conscious sedation when they started setting my arm. Because I remember seeing them. They were in rainbow colors, but I remember seeing them. And I remember my arm starting to hurt, and I remember hearing myself shallowly going, ow, 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 ow. And then I just was racing again on that rainbow track. But when I came out, I had a Minsung colored cast, and I was so yippee. I had little splints in my arm to keep it from being too tight, because my hand was swelled like a balloon. But yeah, I had a green wrap, and then pink, like 2 pink strips to keep the separators in place. I don't know, but a week goes by. Yesterday I had my cast changed, so now it's just dark green. But yeah, my fingers are, my knuckles are yellow. Yeah, that's my knee. My other one's fine, but my elbow, why is it so blurry, dog? My elbow, my knee, I can't show you my shoulder, but that ended up happening. But yeah, I called 911 because no one else would. That ended up being what happened. But yeah, I hope this clears a few things up. It's not like I was like suicidal or anything. No, I'm completely fine, actually. But I called 911 because I fell in the middle of the street and broke my wrist. And out of four adults and 3 driving teens, I, the minor, was the one to call the ER for myself. So, yeah, I hope that explains a lot.